Another Sunday, another heartbreak, the kind of loss that leaves a bitter taste, not because the team was outclassed, but because once again, the wounds were self-inflicted. Missed opportunities, baffling decisions, and a complete collapse in the moments that mattered most. It's becoming a pattern. Fans are left wondering how many times this team can beat itself before something finally changes. When the game is right there for the taking and it's handed away with poor execution and worse leadership, how much more are we supposed to take? Let's analyze everything, so click the like button and comment. Stefanski out. Shedeur Sanders is officially locked in as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns next week against the Tennessee Titans. Head coach Kevin Stefanski confirmed the decision, signaling what could be a significant turning point in the Browns season. After 2 starts under center, Shedeur stands with a 1-1 record and has shown enough to edge out Dillon Gabriel, at least for now. Despite Stefanski's typical evasiveness on long-term quarterback plans, it's becoming more apparent that the Browns might be ready to give Sanders a real runway to prove himself for the remainder of the season. This isn't just about quarterback stats anymore. It's about momentum. It's about energy. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is bringing something to Cleveland that's been missing all year: life. The vibe around the team has changed. You can feel it in the locker room, on the field, even in the stands. Players are rallying behind him, and fans are beginning to wonder if maybe, just maybe, the Browns have something here. After all, what's the point of drafting 2 rookie quarterbacks if you're not going to see what each of them can offer when it matters most? Dillon Gabriel had his shot in the first half of the season. Now it's Shedeur's turn, and he's showing flashes of something special: playmaking ability, leadership, and that unteachable swagger that separates the good from the potentially great. Quentin Judkins spoke highly of Shedeur after the 49ers game, calling him a great quarterback who handles himself well and has earned the respect of the entire locker room. That's not nothing. That's the kind of praise that tells you this kid might not just be a placeholder. He might actually be the guy. Sure, Sanders still has to earn it. Stefanski is playing it safe, not committing past next week. But let's be honest, unless he completely flames out against the Titans, he's likely going to finish out the year as QB1. And that's the right call. More explosive plays have come with Sanders under center than with Gabriel all season long. You don't just bench that, you build on it. You let it breathe. But there are growing pains, no doubt. One situation that raised eyebrows was a heated sideline exchange between Shedeur and wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. Frustration boiled over after Sanders missed Jeudy on a few key throws. On the surface, it looked like tension, but in reality, it might just be the early stages of what could eventually become a productive QBWR connection. Chemistry takes time, especially when a quarterback hasn't had many first-team reps all year. Now that Sanders is the starter, that trust and timing should start to develop. Still, it's clear the Browns need more than just Jeudy in the wide receiver room. If this team is serious about building around Shedeur, getting him another top-tier weapon this offseason is a must. Let's also be real about what held the Browns back against San Francisco. It wasn't Shedeur. It was coaching. Stefanski made one of the most baffling decisions of the game by calling a 4th-and-1 run play to rookie tight end Harold Fannin Jr. in their own territory while rushing the snap. The result? Fumble. Niners recover. Touchdown. Just like that, a tight 10-8 game turned into a 2-score deficit. Stefanski defended the call post-game, saying he felt good about it. But that's exactly the kind of decision-making that his fans and analysts alike questioning his leadership. This is not a one-off mistake either. It's become a pattern. Week after week, questionable calls and a lack of accountability in post-game pressers. We all need to be better has turned into Stefanski's default response, and fans are getting sick of hearing it. 2-time Coach of the Year or not, the product on the field doesn't lie, and the Browns continue to fall short in crucial moments because of coaching lapses. Special teams weren't any better. A 66-yard punt return given up, a muff punt by Gage Larvadain that led to another touchdown, and Malachi Corley stepping out at the 5-yard line on a return. Bubba Ventrone's unit was a disaster. And yet again, Stefanski deflected blame, protecting his staff by saying young guys made mistakes. How long are we going to keep blaming inexperience while ignoring the root problem? Even with all of that chaos, Shedeur still gave the Browns a fighting chance. His stats weren't flashy, but they were solid, and in some ways, better than the opposing quarterback. Yet the scoreboard didn't reflect that because of blown opportunities and coaching errors. The margin between a tough loss and a statement win is razor thin in the NFL, and in this case, the Browns were on the wrong side of that line, again. Now the question is this: how long will Shedeur get to prove himself? 1 more week? 2? Or will he get the full slate to show he can be the Browns' long-term solution at quarterback? For now, he's earned the right to stay in that huddle. And maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of a new chapter in Cleveland. So what do you think, Browns fans? Should Shedeur Sanders be the starter for the rest of the season? Let me know in the comments. The decision to ride with Shedeur Sanders moving forward feels like more than just a quarterback change. It's a cultural reset. It's not just about who throws the ball best. It's about leadership, belief, and creating a sense of identity, something this Browns team has lacked all season. When your players speak up post-game, when guys like Quentin Judkins openly back the new QB, and when there's real energy in the locker room and on the field, you take notice. You lean into that. What's even more intriguing is the potential long-term impact. Let's say Sanders continues to develop, to grow more comfortable in the offense, and builds real chemistry with guys like Jerry Jeudy. This could completely reshape the Browns' offseason strategy. If Shedeur plays well enough down the stretch, Cleveland might not feel the pressure to draft another quarterback or trade for a veteran. Instead, they could finally focus on building around a quarterback, something that's been missing from this franchise for years. You don't often get this kind of opportunity in the NFL, two rookie quarterbacks on the same roster, both getting real reps in live-game situations. That's rare. But the Browns now have a chance to compare them directly and make an informed decision on who the future really belongs to. It's clear that right now, that arrow is pointing toward number 12. But even if the quarterback situation is starting to settle, that doesn't mean the rest of the team is in sync. The fourth quarter collapse against the 49ers wasn't just about missed throws or turnovers. It was about discipline, or the lack of it. From the decision to run a sneak with a rookie tight end to repeated failures on special teams, the Browns are losing games not just on talent but on execution, preparation, and leadership. Kevin Stefanski continues to defend his decisions post-game, but his explanations aren't landing anymore. The fans aren't buying it, the media is pushing back, and you get the sense that even some in the locker room are losing patience. At some point, a coach has to own the result, not just with words, but with adjustments. That hasn't happened. And that's why, despite his Coach of the Year credentials, the heat is rising around Stefanski in a big way. Special teams coordinator Bubba Ventrone is also catching flack, and rightfully so. Multiple special teams touchdowns allowed this year, mental mistakes, and a total lack of fundamentals have turned this unit into a liability. It's not just about Sunday's game. This has become a recurring theme. And at some point, you can't just keep saying young guys made mistakes. You have to start asking why those mistakes keep happening, and who's responsible for coaching them. The defense, which has been a strength at times this season, showed cracks too. The sideline tension with Jerry Jeudy might have drawn the headlines, but Shelby Harris's post-game quote about Jawan Jennings getting under players' skin showed that even the veterans are getting frustrated. That fire, that emotion, it can be a good thing. But it can also boil over if the locker room feels like it's being dragged down by poor decision-making at the top. There's also the matter of injuries. Malik Collins went down, and while we're waiting for updates, losing a key piece like him could have ripple effects on the defensive line. This is where depth becomes critical, and the Browns have to be smart about rotations and snap counts as they head into this crucial final stretch of the season. Looking ahead, the matchup with the Titans is more than just another game. It's a litmus test. It's the kind of game where Shedeur Sanders can either solidify his grip on the starting role or open the door back up for Gabriel. The Titans' defense isn't elite, but it's physical and opportunistic. Shedeur will need to be sharp, decisive, and above all, composed. But he'll also need help from the coaching staff, from the offensive line, from playmakers like Jeudy and Judkins. This has to be a complete team effort. And that brings us to the fans. The Dawg Pound has always been one of the most passionate, loyal, and vocal fan bases in the league. But loyalty doesn't mean silence. Browns fans know football. They know when something's working and when something's broken. Right now, they're seeing flashes of something exciting in Sanders, but they're also seeing a coaching staff that continues to trip over itself at critical moments. That frustration is real. And it's justified. If the Browns want to salvage this season, it starts with consistency. Consistency in who's under center. Consistency in play calling. Consistency in execution. Shedeur Sanders might not be the perfect quarterback, not yet. But he gives Cleveland a fighting chance. He gives them hope. And right now, that's more valuable than anything else. So as we gear up for the Titans game, Browns fans, it's time to buckle in. This could be the start of something new, or it could be another missed opportunity. Either way, you'll want to be watching. Because whether Shedeur Sanders is the answer or not, the Browns are at a crossroads. And every snap from here on out matters. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss a single update on Sanders, the coaching staff, and everything happening in Berea. Hit that like button if you believe in number 12, and don't forget to click on the video on the screen for more Browns content. The latest news, the hottest takes, you'll find it all right here, first. Go Browns!